Hello, welcome. In one of my previous videos, I discussed what happens when Saturn is transiting and touching your natal planets. Today, we will discuss what happens when Saturn is transiting through different houses from your ascendant. When Saturn transits through different houses from the ascendant chart, just like the ascendant chart is someone's Taurus, what will happen when Taurus is leaving? What will happen when he is leaving from Gemini? Today, we'll talk about that. The results are very different when Saturn's transit touches natal planets, whether it enters a house or interacts with the moon. It is said from the moon, Saturn's transit is very famous, especially when it comes to Sadsati. Oh, brother, this happened, that happened. And it has importance to the ascendant. Generally, from the ascendant chart, whenever Saturn transits from the first house, meaning from any house, it transits through the third, fourth, sixth, 10th, and 11th houses. So this transit of Saturn is considered very good. What other add-on factors are there in this? What is it that makes him bad and what makes him good? We will also understand that today. So today's topic is Saturn's transit through various houses from the ascendant and what we should expect from it. Before knowing that, let's understand what Saturn is. First of all, the planet gives its natural results. So if we find out about this, so understanding what Saturn is and what its results will become easier. There is a lot. The ship is also important. Saturn's on karma. Saturn tells us that it's because of karma. What we have come to do is wire self. There is responsibility. We delay things. Wherever we sit, we delay things. We take our time. It's a time for yourself, a testing time. When Saturn comes to test, it conducts a long test. There is a card in tarot called Justice. Whenever he comes, we say that justice will be served to you. But if you have done wrong, justice will be served there too. So you will get what you have. They test our patience. Saturn is our scarcity, a lack of something. It is believed that if Saturn is related to the second or 11th house, then Saturn gives money with a delay. Born in a rich family as you won't easily get resources and money. If Saturn is a significator, a yoga planet for the ascendant forms connections. From the second or 11th or forming wealth, money will come. Abundance will come in life, and Saturn also shows discipline. Now, what other factors are there? Need to take a look. Viewing the transit, what's Saturn's lordship? Saturn is a significator, also a non-significator. In the house where Saturn is transiting, how many points does that house get? In the Ashtak Varga, how much score has Saturn achieved in itself? How happy Saturn is with the transit of other planets, and how many planets are happy with Saturn will also be important. If you are going through Saturn's period, then the results will make you feel a more profound internal happiness. The transit of Saturn is always observed from the moon, how it is in relation to the natal moon. But from here, we are also experiencing physical changes, getting hurt, feeling good, what's happening at home, what's happening with the kids. All of that is observed from here. And this transit from the ascendant is very important. In this, we will try not to predict with our mind, but to understand what Saturn expects from us, because Saturn is about karma. Understand karma's role. Use Saturn's transit wisely. Saturn in the first house means life shift, urging self-discovery and purpose. If Saturn is key, you'll find it. So, how can we act in a way that we take the best advantage of Saturn's transit? If Saturn is transiting from the first house, it will be a major shift in life, where Saturn wants you to self-discover, search for your soul, and in fact, find out your true purpose for coming here. And if Saturn is a significator planet, you will definitely be able to find that out. Saturn also wants this. At this time, become more practical, be responsible, and keep your determination strong. They want that you should have focus, humility, follow the law, and be as authentic as possible. The more you keep these things in mind, the better Saturn's transit will become. Shani, chahiye akarak. Big J, this is what Lick is expecting from you. Saturn brings our delays to test you. We are going. With the ascendant, there are factors of delay. Every matter feels like a delay. Station. Things seem to be coming together, but they just stay in progress. It feels like everything will get done soon, but it still doesn't happen because it's testing you. That's what they want. Show willpower. Prove you can handle obstacles. Saturn demands discipline. And whatever troubles or obstacles I am creating, prove yourself by showing that you can handle everything. Saturn is asking for self discipline from you, demanding responsibility. And this is time when you have to work on yourself. It is time for self improvement, time to show off your residence, and time for a lifestyle change. Then you can expect this. Now, when Saturn transits from the first house, this is how you should be behaving. When it transits from the second house, it relates to family, resources, and values. They want us to value all these things: the value of family, the value of money, the value of expressions. Here, it can also impose some restrictions, show delays, or indicate shortages. Because it's testing you, the atmosphere at home might become a bit more rigid and strict. Here, they can also impose some restrictions, show delays, or indicate shortages. Because it's testing you, the atmosphere at home might become a bit more rigid and strict. At that time, one rule book can be made. You should create this for yourself. If you want to utilize this in a good way, after that, this is the time when Sunny will want you. If you want to maintain family values and family lineage, well, then walk this path with dedication and hard work. Wherever Saturn is transiting from, they are asking this from you. The communication style during that time can be a bit rude and somewhat hard or serious. You've become someone who speaks less at times, or there's been a bit of effort in that regard. In fact, I would tell you that during that time, whatever promises you make, whatever commitments you give, make sure to fulfill them completely. Saturn transiting from the second house, they observe, are you doing what Babli is saying or not? When Saturn transits from the third house, you must have heard that malefic planets do very well in the third and sixth houses. I'm sure they do very well there. They make you bold. They give you courage. Are Ford. In the sixth house, malefic means that tough situations are coming into play, where you have to become bold and tough. It's like this. The nature of malefic planets is such that Mars is like a soldier, while Saturn is naturally a cruel planet. They can withstand the energy of the third house. Use energy wisely. Be assertive if needed. Natural benefits may reduce bold. Where you are telling you how to be assertive, how to say no, how to take stand for yourself, but the situations are coming, then you have to take stand for you on self. If there are natural benefits in the third and sixth houses, then perhaps in this situation, you won't have to become bold and assertive. Mind you, malefic planets are good for us in the third, side, and sixth houses. Their natural significance, still, there are losses. When mid Saturn is transiting from the third house, this means they want us to be a bit bold, assertive, and expressive during this time. We need to say no. We should say no and not take nonsense. We will make it mobile. You should break all the restrictions that have been placed, or they will be broken, where mobility will increase a bit more. If there's anything pending, whether it's regarding the sling or the society, because this is our small network circle, the third house, if someone wants to do something, then they should definitely address it. There might be a shift work. The travel, short distance, fun travel, they could be for more work rather than like chilled out. There won't be any vacations. In work, there might be a slight shift within yourself. If Saturn is transiting from the fourth house, then they want you to be compassionate towards your family because they will frustrate you right where they are frustrating you. What you need to learn is to be compassionate towards your family. There is a need to bring in some discipline and culture there. Accept the responsibility that this is my role in the family. I have to do this. This could be the time if there's any responsibility towards the mother, any karma. Please don't ignore it. Do that if you want to utilize this Saturn. And if Saturn is transiting from the fourth house, then During this time, you can buy property and renovate it or sell property. And if there's any small work at home, this is also the right time to do it. And because Saturn is the significator of instruction, whenever malefics are extracted from the fourth house, even if they don't provide happiness in the family, they definitely provide materialistic happiness. Saturn in the fifth house tests our intellect, teaching us to celebrate. It's a very intelligent planet, a very hardworking planet, and the fifth house represents our intellect. Saturn's lessons require knowledge and creativity. Saturn influences children with responsibilities and reality checks. We need to express ourselves creatively. Responsibilities will bring a reality check, especially in love and children. There might also be a reality check about thoughts versus reality. If Saturn is the significator planet in this house and the children have received good marks, eventually the responsibilities they take on will bring about a reality check, especially regarding love affairs and their responsibilities towards children. There might also be a reality check about what I was thinking and what actually happened. Shani wants us to earn loans through hard work and commitment. This is the mantra, learning and spiritual awareness. Now is the time to chant mantras. Through spiritual awareness, utilize Saturn positively. Don't ignore it, embrace learning. Saturn in the sixth house brings hard work, determination, and duty. Through spiritual awareness, you are using Saturn in a positive way, responsible for what your Ketu means. Don't ignore. If Saturn is in the sixth house, it's similar to the third house. It will bring hard work, determination, and a sense of duty. Success may be delayed, but Saturn does well in the sixth house. When Saturn transits the ascendant in the sixth house, it is good, and Saturn's transit in the fourth house is also favorable. Although it is said that Saturn is very good in the sixth house, but see that delay, it will ultimately bring you towards success, but success is there. Now, anyway, the transit of Saturn in the sixth house from the Lagna is good. The transit of Saturn in the fourth house from the Lagna is also good. It should benefit property matters. But challenges may arise. In health, legal issues, conflicts, and finances, these challenges occur as natural benefics may not present these situations, and there might be no enemies. When the owner says, "We'll see," the other party will too. Challenges will arise. Saturn will complicate matters. But eventually, it will resolve. And when the owner says, "We'll see what happens," then the other party will also see what happens. So, in these matters, Saturn will put you in issues. Eventually, it will all come together. This is that time of pending karma. If you have any diseases, troubles with enemies, debts, or money that you owe to someone, then pay it off. Otherwise, Saturn will hit harder, especially if Saturn is transiting through the seventh house. You need to be more focused on collaboration and partnerships. It's urging you to engage more because it's the time it's telling you to do, meaning no, they don't want attachment or detachment. They just want you to do your part and leave the rest. So they are saying that there's no need to be overly attached or detached. If there's any charge or responsibility related to your partner, make sure to fulfill it. Don't distance yourself from it. Saturn is exalted here in the sign of the Kalpurush and is also directional strength. Again, pending karma with marital bonds or spouse. Business partners, people you come across, treat them well with justice and equality. Then Saturn will reward you with a new venture. You can start that. It could be a trade partnership, or this could also be a time when you might enter into the bond of marriage. When Saturn transits through the eighth house, in trust, this is the most transformative period, and Saturn's transit through the ascendant or any house or Lord is considered the worst transit. So let's assume here Saturn is in its exalted sign. Here Saturn has received good marks. The rest of the transit is going well, so you shouldn't take these matters too seriously. But otherwise, this transit can be a bit challenging, leading to mental anxiety and losses. Even the losses are significant, like a decrease in position and status, financial losses. Basically, Saturn wants you to shed the old self and evolve as a new person. It's talking about letting go of worn out ideas because this is a time of transformation. That's what it's saying. If there are any old belief systems, ideas, concepts, or attitudes that aren't working for you, let them go and come out as a stronger person. That's what happens. When that 2.5 year period ends, any baggage that you have been carrying from the past will trouble you more. Emotional burdens, belief systems, and attachments will come in the way and prevent you from growing. So, this is how Saturn is testing you. But when that 2.5 year period ends, then you are coming out as a refined person. When Saturn transits through the ninth house, there are two possibilities. Either you collaborate with your father or with the elders, that's where you uplift the family, the lineage, or you might see a lot of difficulties and problems arising there. Because Saturn is not considered very favorable in the fifth and ninth houses. We will also talk about which planet gives good results in which house. This is a time for pending karma, especially if it's related to your father or with a guru. It's a time to address changes in your destiny and fortune. So focus on that, Saturn. It's telling you to develop your outlook in the ninth house, make it a bit more spiritual. It's time to broaden your mindset. You need to move towards enlightenment just like the fifth house. When Saturn transits through the 10th house, it is considered a good transit for the ascendant. This is the time when there will be transformation in your career, new opportunities will arise, and you'll get new responsibilities at the workplace. If you're growing in your career, you'll have more responsibilities and you'll receive promotions. In fact, there are some unfinished karmas. If it's about work, complete it diligently, finish it up. If you want rewards from Saturn, let's add one more layer. As for the concept of Bhavat Bhavan, it is not just related to the He ascendant chart. Your Saturn's move affects children due to a beneficial malefic planet in the sixth house. If Saturn is moving from the 10th house, then you should see that it is affecting your fifth house. So, this is the time when struggles may arise in children's lives or more. Specifically, kids will come out of that struggle because a malefic planet in the sixth house is considered good. Struggles you will come in children's lives, or you are about that. Now, regarding the fifth house, it could be a time of some troubles or transformations in siblings' lives because it is from the third to the eighth house. During this time, you might see a lot of funerals or deaths yourself. Around that, why? Because the 10th house is the third house away, and the third house is the eighth house, which are the houses of death. And I have seen many times that when Saturn transits from the ascendant to the 10th house, at that time you will see a lot of funerals. Saturn. If Saturn is transiting through the 11th house, it is considered a very auspicious time. This is the time when new opportunities will come, new contacts will be made, money will flow, and your status will rise. 11th houses and status. You need to be cautious in these matters. We will construct a Bhavat Bhavan. The 11th house is from the 4th house. This means that it's not good regarding the mother's health. It was from 6 to 6. So, if there is any litigation or dispute going on with your uncle or even with your mother, then there could be more complications and problems arising from that. This is the time when you can expect results in that area, good or bad. Now, what does Saturn want to teach you? It wants to teach you because it is an isolated kind of planet that doesn't like to mingle much. And it's moving from the 11th house. They will frustrate you or push you like that you have to learn to mingle with people harmoniously, how to enter society, and how to live in society. Basically, Saturn wants to be open and more engaging with others, which is not in Saturn's nature, but it will do so if Saturn is transiting from the 12th house. Understand its time of Saturn, time, and the 12th house's ways, what you are not utilizing. So you end up wasting your time. If Saturn is in the 12th house, it suggests time wastage. The third lord there indicates wasted efforts. The fourth lord in the 12th house with poor dignity shows a loss. Even though the mother moves to her fortune house, If dignity is poor, it benefits the mother. If the 12th house is affected, it indicates a loss. Saturn in the 12th house shows wasted time, suggesting confinement and dependency. If it is not in good dignity, it also indicates a loss in that house. Similarly, if Saturn is present and is in the 12th house, it shows a waste of time. So, what is Saturn telling you? At this time, you will feel self impressed, feel respected, and feel confined, as if you have become dependent on someone. Even if you have responsibilities, you may not be able to fulfill them completely on your own. And also, you are not valuing your time or discipline. So, there is a struggle there. It is very important to mention this. If Saturn's transit is returning for anyone, don't waste your time. There could be an increase in expenditures, which may be unplanned and unexpected, leading to spending in unwanted areas. This is also a time when there could be conflicts with your partner because it is moving from the 7th to the 6th house. We need to pay a little attention to the children's health because it's the time from the 5th to the 8th house, or you might make wrong decisions on your own there because Saturn is moving from the intelligence house to the 8th house, which means not using your intellect properly and making wrong decisions. So be more mindful, more responsible at this time. This is a crucial transit. I hope you found the Saturn transit from different houses informative. Thank you so much.